Peace, peoples. Peace. I've been saying something about that jab, though, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying something about that jab. That's that shit trigger shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, oh, he don't know what he talking about. He don't know what he talking about. This, that, and the third. You know what I mean? But whatever kind of medical condition you had going on, that damn it, that shit was 2.0 on making that shit come back. You notice that? All the people that was sick, that beat this and beat that, them same goddamn diseases are coming back with a vengeance. That was from that jab. That jab triggered shit. Like if you was, like for example, if you had cancer, some shit like that, you beat cancer. You know what I'm saying? You beat that shit. Then you went out and lined up and took that experiment. That shit triggered your cancer to come back. How many people y'all know who cancer came back? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. Health condition problems, that shit advanced that shit to come back. 2.0. You heard? Straight 2.0. Facts, not fiction, y'all. 100% fact, not fiction. Let me run up in here real quick, y'all. Right back. Yeah, like I said, y'all, that shit triggered shit like a motherfucker, y'all. It come back on. And I ain't saying that, you know what I mean, to scare people. But I'm just kicking it, I'm kicking reality, y'all. I've been knew that shit though. But I'm gonna let y'all hear this story of the brother saying the same shit. It's coming from them. It's not coming from me. It's coming from the man that made the goddamn vax himself. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of people in the African-American community falling ill to, you know what I mean, that health and shit. That shit coming back 2.0, you know what I'm saying? But let's listen, y'all. Let's listen. Listen with an open mind, ladies and gentlemen. For real, I was warning people, don't do that shit.
It affects, and it should be alarming to every single person in this country, and not only in this country, but around the world. This is one of those instances where this isn't just an American problem. This is literally a global problem, and it's happening everywhere around the country. And as you see by this article, the FDA communication says data showed that at least 10 children, 10 have lost their lives due to the jab. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you footage from one of the biggest defenders of Americans from the jab, where I thought that this man's life was going to be taken. I mean, from the jump, he was one of the loudest voices in the medical community as far as for preaching against the jabs and the dangers. And they shut him up, they shut him down, but he's still alive, and he's back with a vengeance after the COVID reports came out. The pandemic papers, what they call them. And man, the doggone studies that came out of that, out of the amount of people who lost their life.
Straight pandemic. You understand me? Straight pandemic. When they told you was gonna lose your job or you can win $1 million, y'all should have knew something was up with that shit, man. And like I said, most of our own people sold us the fuck out. God damn it. You gotta y'all put the disease in your system, not knowing what that shit was gonna do to your organs and shit. Let's go.
The amount of people who cancer came back, the amount of people who have tremendous heart problems, squid-sized blood clots, not to mention the babies who were affected. So let's roll with this. And in this video, the clips I'm going to show you, they're so important. They're so eye-opening that I'm going to play those on full screen rather than how I kind of split the screen. So if you've ever watched any other video of mine, I highly suggest this be the one. If you haven't made it to the end of anything else, make it to the end of this. It's so important that I won't have anything to say. I'll just let the doctor speak and reveal factual evidence that has come out. And I gotta say, I'm proud.
This Brian Maxwell on YouTube. If y'all want to go to his channel and support the brother, Brian Maxwell on YouTube. Go in the search bar, punch in Brian Maxwell. Make sure you sub to his channel, hit the notification bar so you'll get notified when he drop videos, educational videos, uplifting videos, knowledgeable videos.
I'll just say that I never took it. My children never took it. My youngest son is in the military, so I know that they jammed him with it. But
I never took that shit either, and I warned all my peoples not to take that shit. I warned a whole lot of peoples, but then everybody know everything. It's all chiefs and no Indians, goddammit. Well, guess what? Let's say if that was the mark of the beast. How many motherfuckers lined up and took the mark of the beast? Test run, goddammit. Let's go.
Other children have not taken it. My grandchildren did not. Unfortunately, though, my mother, she didn't. She listened, but my father, he's old school. He believed everything that they were saying. He's a hardcore Democrat. And he went and got shots, and he's boosted to the hill. And guess what? My father's cancer had came back, and we didn't understand why. But in this video, you're going to understand.
My uncles beat cancer. That's the crazy part. My uncles beat cancer, and he lined up. And I said, "Uncle, did you take the vax?" He said, "Yup, he took the vax." And Unc passed away, man. That cancer came back, man. That's crazy. This real shit, y'all. My uncle beat cancer. No bullshit. But lined up and took that motherfucking experiment, and guess what? Cancer came back, y'all. Cancer came back like a motherfucker, man. And took his life, man. That's a fact, not fiction. 100% fact, not fiction. And like I said, a lot of y'all loved ones that was sick, that beat whatever they had going on, you notice that shit came back with a vengeance. It's a fact. I know a lot of people and shit. A lot of people had strokes and shit. All types of shit. That lined up and took that experiment, man. And that's all it was, man. An fucking experiment. let's continue on listening. This real shit right here. The news ain't gonna tell y'all, because the news was part of the go along, get along gang, selling motherfuckers out too. And if you talked about it, they'd take your channel.
And we didn't understand why. But in this video, you're gonna understand why. They actually break down what happened. So as you can see, FDA communication says data show 10 children lives lost due to the jab. I'm only gonna read a little bit of the article. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Marty McCarry said on Saturday that data showed 10 children had lost their lives due to the pandemic jabs. There were, it appears, 10 lives lost of children from the pandemic shots. Now, the reason why I'm changing up words because the algorithm still doesn't like people that are talking out against it, and they'll, affect your video being able to be shown. So just so you know, that's why I'm doing it. Now, this data that was accumulated during the Biden administration, we're going to make that information available that those cases were reviewed, he told Fox News in an interview. The New York Times earlier reported that an internal FDA memo concluded that at least 10 little people, 10 children, had likely passed away due to those jabs with myocarditis or heart inflammation cited as possible cause. What do children with heart issues, that many? But let me not delay anymore. Now, check this out. FDA to raise hurdles for jabs, faulting pandemic shots for 10 children losing their lives. And as you can see right here, failure to warn how federal health agencies downplayed risk of myocarditis and other adverse events following the pandemic jabs. Now, this man right here, this is Dr. Peter McCullough. This is who I was speaking about. He has been he's one of the most respected heart doctors, cardiologists in the country, but he was one of the biggest and the loudest voices that have been screaming from the rooftops this entire time. As a matter of fact, let me show you how effective he is and let you look at what they put in Wikipedia for him. And whatever the Democrats think is bad is actually good. So Peter Andrew McCullough, born in December 1962, is an American former cardiologist. Still that. He was vice chief of internal medicine at Baylor University Medical Center and a professor at Texas A&M University. From the beginnings of the pandemic, McCullough has promoted misinformation and conspiracy theories about the pandemic, its treatments, and RNA vaccines. Now, just so you know, and you can already tell, this was written and dated during the Biden administration when they put this Wikipedia in for him, because he didn't have one. This isn't one that he did himself. This is one that they did for him. But do you notice how they say specifically, go look at anybody else's Wikipedia, and you ever tell me when they ever point out, they do misinformation and disinformation in their Wikipedia page? They don't. But this is a smear campaign. That's how effective and how much of a thorn this man has been in their side. And now it's vindication, baby, but he's really telling it all. They had this man blacklisted. They had his social media sites blocked, shadow banned. It was crazy. All because of this information that you're about to hear from him right now. Now, this clip is a little long, but please watch it. If we'll sit up and we'll watch music videos, if we'll watch sporting events, if people watch Real Housewives and other shows that don't give you any information that can save your life or save your family's life. If we got time for that, please take the time to watch this, because this can save not only your life, but your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, people who you love and care about, your closest friends. So I'm not going to talk too much longer. I'm going to let him get into it. And after this clip, we got another clip from Dr. McCullough where he goes more in detail with things, and then we're going to close it out with a smaller clip, but it really breaks down exactly why the medical doctors have failed to just admit they were wrong. That's going to be the last clip, but check this one out right here.
Introduced, I'm Dr. Peter McCullough. I have seen and examined thousands of patients with acute COVID-19 and managed them before the hospital phase of care and helped them successfully avoid hospitalization and death. And now, sadly, I've seen thousands of patients who've suffered injuries, disabilities, and unfortunately death after COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 illness and the vaccine are very similar in that they expose patients to a protein on the surface of the virus, the spicule, if you will, or the spine on the surface of the virus, called the spike protein. The spike protein was intentionally engineered in a Chinese biosecurity lab in Wuhan, China.
How Gen X are getting their teenage...
Nobody held accountable for that bullshit either, huh? No one held accountable. In the motherfucking Chinese lab. I told you, you lift up the back of some of y'all necks. That shit say made in China, goddammit.
Biosecurity lab in Wuhan, China.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app, a super chat, or for a donation. You hitting that like button, it helps enough getting the channel out there. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe. And make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube has issues notifying, but when you select all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new video.
The spike protein is not a natural protein. It's been modified by mankind in a joint U.S.-Chinese collaboration.
Man-made. Everything y'all put in y'all are man-made fuck shit, all right? God damn it. When King Trump came up there and said that shit was a hoax, y'all should have believed him. God damn it. But those who did believe him can stand here and talk that shit. God damn it. 21 gun salute, King Trump. 21 gun salute. Get him out of here.
That took years to create SARS-CoV-2. It's now fully acknowledged through the House Select Coronavirus Investigative Committee in Washington that SARS-CoV-2 was created in the Chinese biosecurity lab in Wuhan.
Created. Key word. Created. God damn it.
In China. And there are co-conspirators in the creation of this virus, and it's now well acknowledged.
See, now you heard that. See, and that carry more weight than the person who pulled the trigger. But y'all ain't holding nobody accountable. Y'all too distracted on a new law. Josh Shapiro passed a hair crown law. They ain't got nothing to do with the fuck's going on in the community. Pandering once again to house niggas. Pandering to house niggas. What the fuck is that crown hair bill gonna do to these people that took that fucking experiment that got fucking lung health problems, goddammit? And y'all need to hold these motherfuckers accountable. They give y'all a little crown hair bill and half y'all don't even wear y'all real hair. Y'all go out and spend thousands of dollars on weaves, wigs, and front ends, goddammit. Once again, niggas surrounding this motherfucking devil, Josh Shapiro, a known devil. God damn it, he's a devil. Cause if he ain't warning y'all about the side effects of this experiment that was going to transpire, god damn it, he was in the bed with the devil. God damn it. And they say conspiracy carry more trigger than the motherfucker who pulled the trigger. God damn it. Wake up. Y'all were lied to. And these niggas in Pennsylvania don't love y'all. Okay?
Acknowledged that they include Dr. Anthony Fauci of the National Allergy Immunology Branch, Dr. Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Peter Daszak at the EcoHealth Alliance, who helped coordinate it all, and Dr. Xingling Li, the lead researcher in the Wuhan lab. Because the spike protein gets in the human body with the infection and in a massive dose with the vaccine, that's the reason why people feel sick afterwards after having COVID-19. We call that long COVID. Well, people feel sick after the vaccine, even more so because they even have a massive dose of the spike protein in the human body. And a recent study from Germany by Brogna and colleagues has found that the spike protein is physically circulating in the blood of those who've been vaccinated, at least half of them, for 6 months or more. The messenger RNA has been modified intentionally to be long-lasting in the body. That's Pfizer and Moderna. And because so, the messenger RNA is circulating in the bloodstream for at least a month, found in lymph nodes for several months. So people who keep taking the vaccines keep building up more and more messenger RNA and more spike protein. There are over 4,000 peer-reviewed papers in the medical literature now, which is heavily suppressed by editors and by sponsors and institutions who don't want this information to come out, but there's still 4,000. And the 4,000 show, proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, that about 70% of long COVID, as we know it, is actually caused by pre-vaccination or vaccination before or after the illness.
Yes.
The literature demonstrates that 4 major areas of damage to the human body are occurring. To the heart, myocarditis, an acceleration of cardiovascular disease, arrhythmias, and cardiac arrest. And yes,
myocarditis. God damn it. Do the research, y'all. Oh, y'all got all these degrees and stupid than the motherfucker. I told you them degrees don't mean shit when you straight ignorant to the facts that you was selling your peoples out, God damn it, for some crumbs on the plate. Look at Joe Biden and all them motherfuckers, man, when they was acting like they was taking a fake experiment. We don't know what was in that shit. God damn it. That's like the Magic Man. God damn it. Here, now you see it, now you don't. God damn it.
The unexplained cardiac arrests that you see out there are due to COVID-19 vaccination, unless it can be completely proven that the patient didn't take the vaccine. Neurologic, both ischemic and thrombotic stroke, Guillain-Barré syndrome, paralysis, small fiber neuropathy, seizures.
How many people y'all know in the African-American community been having strokes out of nowhere? Young as a motherfucker. All types of shit.
Hearing loss, vision loss, a condition called POTS, posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, where patients become very unsteady and pass out. Yes, those reels of all these media people passing out on TV, that's largely POTS. The third area is blood clots, thrombosis, blood clots like we've never seen before. Blood clots that can extend from the ankle to the hip and shoot to the lungs and are fatal. Blood clots that form in the brain and cause particular forms of stroke called central venous and cavernous venous thrombosis. The FDA agrees to and says the vaccines cause these syndromes, so it's not controversial.
Wow.
And then the fourth area is immunologic. The vaccines actually trigger the production of all different types of proteins besides the spike protein that incite autoimmunity. A fifth area of concern is emerging, but I think it could really be a concern, is that the vaccines could cause cancer or accelerate cancer or bring people out of remission back to active cancer.
Now, see, you heard that. And like I told y'all with my unks, he beat cancer, y'all. He beat cancer, man. But then he also lined up and took that experiment. And that fucking cancer came back with a vengeance and took his life, man. Rest in peace, Unc. I said, Unc, did you take the jab? I was asking my people. I'm trying to wake my peoples up. You know what I mean? But so many people were so far gone and brainwashed from their own peoples. It was sad, man. It was sad than a motherfucker, y'all. Damn. The facts can be in your face and y'all still won't believe it, will y'all? Y'all say, oh, that's fake. That video, he don't know what he talking about. But we listening to a doctor who's inside the goddamn experiment where it happened that dude, y'all. Damn, what else do y'all need? Huh? What other proof do you need, goddammit? You was hoodwinked. You was bamboozled and you was led astray by your own peoples. Facts.
Answer. All of this has now been fully disclosed in 4 sets of U.S. Senate hearings, at least 3 sets of congressional hearings here in the United States, deliberations in European Parliament and the lower house in England. And to this day, not a single government or regulatory agency will do a safety review of the vaccines, let alone pull them off the market for lack of safety. And as we sit here today, our US CDC VAERS system tells us.
And they still pumping that shit, because I seen the commercial yesterday or this morning on that bullshit. And people gonna still line up and take that shit. Why? Because like a drug addict. God damn it, we give you a free sample here, we give you a free sample there, and by then you hooked on it. And when we say you can come get your vax, now we gonna charge you for that motherfucker. They gonna hit your insurance over the head for a motherfucking experiment that's gonna eventually take your life.
That there are confirmed by the CDC approximately 18,500 Americans who have died after the vaccine. 1,150 die on the same day they take the shot or in the vaccine center. 1,200 die the next day. It shouldn't have been more than 5, 10, 15, or 50 deaths. It should have been pulled off the market.
Right.
Yet our CDC is openly telling us that these large numbers of deaths occur in people healthy enough to walk into a pharmacy or a vaccine center. It's grossly underreported, probably 30 to 1. That means the total number of Americans who likely have passed away of the vaccine is about 550,000. 550,000.
Damn.
Our 2 major presidential candidates
Are y'all hearing these numbers? God damn it. Are y'all hearing these numbers? Whoever took that vax, y'all got a nice lawsuit, y'all. Y'all got a nice hell of a lawsuit, but you know what? Then again, you don't. Because they made y'all sign a fucking form before you took the jab. If something happened, they not responsible. Right then and there, I'd have ripped that paper and hauled ass out that building.
the same on this issue. They are completely, willfully blind to what's happened to Americans. They're focused on other issues outside of the health, the welfare, and action.
They focusing on hair in Pennsylvania. You understand me? Focusing on the new hair crown law where these bitches don't even wear their real hair. They got weave all up in their shit. And the broad that's promoting that shit that was with Josh Shapiro, she looked like she a straight lesbian. Let's keep it all the way funky. With that fucking clown outfit on, like she just escaped from Ringling Barnabas Bailey Circus.
The survival of their own people. The same is true worldwide.
Struggling to enjoy your favorite meals? Missing
Straight look like she escaped from a motherfucking zoo or a circus.
Worldwide. So what we're going to do today is we will do a deep dive on the data, and we'll start with what's happening in the hospital. Because what happened in the hospital and patients dying in the hospital is part of the same continuum of patients dying after the vaccine. It's all the same. It's exposure to the spike protein and then the inadequacy of public health institutions, medical institutions, hospitals, and doctors to respond to this great calamity.
Now, on the heels of talking about health and how people were impacted by the jabs, right now is the open enrollment period for healthcare, which is why I want to take a moment to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video and partner of the channel, Chapter. Chapter is helping seniors right now who are confused. Some are just new to having to get Medicare. Others who already have Medicare but want to make sure they got the best Medicare plans available. I highly encourage you to reach out to Chapter. Chapter has highly skilled, unbiased agents that are helping seniors make sure that they've got the best Medicare plans available, because it sucks to find out your prescriptions are no longer covered and your doctor is no longer in network on the plan you currently have. The phone call is absolutely free, and it could go as quick as 20 minutes. In less than 20 minutes, you can find out to make sure you got the best Medicare plan available. And the great news about it is that Chapter has been helping seniors save as much as $1,100 a year, making sure they have the best Medicare plan. So I'm sure you can find something to do with an extra $1,100 in your pocket. So don't waste time. It's extremely important to protect yourself and protect your health. So give Chapter a call or follow the website at askchapter.org/realpolitics and make sure you've got the best Medicare plans available. All right, so that was the end of him talking about that. And man, did you hear what he said? And he talked about the blood clots that go from your freaking ankle all the way up to your midsection. It's insane. I call them squid-like clots. It's nuts. And now we got children with myocarditis, but in this clip, he really breaks down Fauci's role in it and goes a lot more in depth. It's not as long. It's only a couple of minutes.
There was a whole lot of motherfuckers involved with that fuck shit. That whole democratic party, god damn it.
But you really want to listen to this because he breaks down the perpetrators and how we, the people, were manipulated by the perpetrators. Check this clip out.
In a book I've published with John Leake, my co-author here today, it's called Courage to Face COVID-19, Preventing Hospitalizations and Deaths While Battling the Biopharmaceutical Complex. We actually describe a complex, a syndicate that's formed, the biopharmaceutical complex, which is powerful. It's been years in formation. But everything we've talked about today, the most interesting thing to me is that it's global. We could be having the same discussion in Germany, in France, in South Africa, in England. None of this is uniquely American. A global syndicate appears to be running the table on this.
Global.
Now, it includes a lot of...
Global, because it was worldwide with this fuck shit, y'all. It's a lot of motherfuckers involved, y'all. A whole lot of motherfuckers involved, and they've been exposed, y'all. The same motherfuckers that's going against King Trump are the motherfuckers that was in bed with this fuck shit. God damn it. Facts.
Powerful non-governmental agencies that are not elected. The United Nations, the WHO, the Gates Foundation, the Wellcome Trust, the Rockefeller Foundation, Gavi, CEPI, the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness and Innovation, formed by Gates and WEF.
Bill Gates, God damn it.
All the regulatory agencies are involved. Dr. Fauci was just here testifying. He is very prominent and active in the WHO. He is in no way retired. Jeremy Farrar, who was at the Wellcome Trust, who was in on these conversations with Fauci and Collins to try to cover up the lab origins of the virus, he's been rewarded for his work. He's now the chief scientist at the WHO. You know, we have about 90% of our FDA commissioners take wonderful, lucrative jobs in industry after they finish regulating those individuals. You saw Scott Gottlieb, former FDA commissioner, now on the board of Pfizer, on CNBC every day. Guess what? Promoting the Pfizer vaccine. Now it's in the open. Now we have FDA Commissioner Califf and one of the division directors, Marks, openly promoting the COVID-19 vaccines off-label. They're promoting the vaccines for things they actually don't do. They're promoting the vaccines to reduce hospitalization and death. Not a single prospective double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trial ever showed the vaccines reduced hospitalization and death. There's no valid observational study that shows this. They're promoting the vaccines to prevent long COVID. In fact, they do just the opposite. A paper by Dexner and colleagues shows that actually the vaccines make long COVID way worse. They don't make it better. So they're out there, instead of being objective and being our watchdogs on drug safety, they're out there now, part of this complex, promoting these products. Listen, when you said 75 years.
Them fucking black doctors in Philadelphia sold y'all the fuck out. And wherever the black African-American community at, it was niggas selling y'all out. Once again, this shit date back to slavery. This ain't nothing new. Niggas always been selling niggas out.
The attorney for the FDA didn't want to release it for 75 years. The FDA is driving this conspiracy to cover up this drug safety problem that we have in the United States. It's a drug safety catastrophe, and the reason why we're here today is because our FDA has gone rogue. They are simply rogue. They are now an extension of this biopharmaceutical industry. They are not protecting Americans from the safety concerns of biologic agents today, and I think that's our greatest concern. In a book.
Wow.
In a book.
Wow. Who did you hear that? Again, he broke it down. Now here's something else that they've attached it to. If you know,
loud and clear.
I'm 47, and growing up, you know, to run into somebody or meet somebody who had an autistic child, it wasn't very common. I will tell you, within the last 5 years, man, there's been at least 10 people that I just randomly, that had autistic children, some more than one. And I'm looking at the dad like, man, you must got some jacked up sperm coming out of there, man, messing up your children or something. Or looking at the mom like, what are you doing? And guess what they're finding? They're finding it that is linked to jabs. You know, the amount, they say that the average child, by the time that they are 2 years old, have taken something like 80 different shots. And now what we're learning is that what's in those shots is absolute poison. Now, I'm not sure if it was the same when I was little, because we didn't have all of these issues. They say that it's arisen over the last 15 years or so, 15 to 20 years or so, with all these quote unquote breakthroughs. But what's happening is it is a massive agenda to depopulate the planet. Bill Gates has said it himself in this video clip. Check this out.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Well, common sense would tell you, if you have a man standing in front of you saying he's going to reduce the world's population by 10 or 15% using vaccines, what does that mean to you?
So at McCullough Foundation, as we just watched, Peter McCullough, determinants of autism spectrum disorder. That's being linked to the jabs. Now, this one last clip, Dr. McCullough is going to let us know why the doctors are refusing to admit they were wrong and do more about it. Check this clip out.
I mean, what's it going to take to get a dangerous product off the market?
Paul, you know, it took 60 years to get dangerous cocaine products out of the food supply and our drugs. Gosh, it took easily over 50 years, even for the AMA to recognize smoking was harmful, to get cigarettes out of the clinics and waiting rooms and what have you. Yeah, 50 years. Point. Yeah, well, so we're 5 years into this debacle. Remember, self-participation is really hard. The vast majority of doctors, it was a Texas A&M survey early on, I think it was 96% of doctors took the shots. They took the shots. It's very hard for them to admit they made a personal health mistake. They had their family take the shots, and sadly their patients. Now we're seeing unprecedented rates of myocarditis, heart damage, blood clots, neurologic damage, immunologic problems, and even cancers. The most common cancer in men and women are both very much on a rise right now. We don't know if this is all related to the vaccine, but every time we look, we find genetic evidence of the vaccine having an adverse effect, or the spike protein, or both. Now, in a research study where one of my patients is involved, Paul, we have circulating messenger RNA from Pfizer and spike protein in his blood 3.2 years after the shot. He sustained blood clots and heart damage because of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, in this very, very last clip right here, listen to Dr. I think his name is Dr. Pierre Corey. Let me make sure. Yup, Dr. Pierre Corey, as he breaks down what was happening to people that were going to Walgreens and places getting the jab in this short time frame. Check this out.
Person visited the pharmacy at 12:30, came home at 3:30 in the afternoon, not feeling well, went to lie down, found in cardiac arrest. Starting in January of 2021, I started to hear whispers that VAERS was blowing up. And for the first time I took a look at it, went on the website, I was like, ooh, that looks busy. You know, the reports of deaths and all sorts of various vaccine injuries, and I was, you know, and then I was even looking at other ones. So very early on, I saw there was something, there was a signal there that was really cautious. I started to dig in, and I got to tell you guys, within 2 hours of looking in VAERS, I was shocked. Something that very few people know is that when you look at a VAERS report, there's a little clinical vignette that's attached to the report. It's what we call in medicine a two-liner. 2 lines, and I'm reading over and over and over again the same temporal association. Person visited the pharmacy at 12:30, came home at 3:30 in the afternoon, not feeling well, went to lie down, found in cardiac arrest. Over and over and over again. And I was freaking out. I'm like, why aren't we talking about this? These people are all dying in a close, tight temporal association to getting jabbed.
Man, you imagine, or maybe you knew somebody. I definitely have known people who went and got the jab, and none that just passed away but got really sick and was ill for a long time. Many people I know were permanently damaged from what they consider to be the pandemic virus. So it's unfortunate. My prayers are for those people who were misled into going and getting it, trusting their government, trusting the television. They even had those tickers up there that were counting how many people were passing away, and that was nothing more to create fear and anxiety in people, and it worked. And a lot of people, and when I was watching it, I knew what it was. I'm like, man, they're not going to trick me, psych me out. And luckily, by living in Florida, we had a great state government that did their work, did the due diligence, and man, initially they had us on lockdown too. But as they started digging, and they're like, no, being in the house is worse. You know, having these people stuck and crammed in and mandating masks, making their oxygen levels low, which decreases immunity, keeping them in the house with each other, crammed in, spreading germs. They opened up our beaches, opened up everything. And guess what? We were one of the states that actually performed the best. Our schools didn't get rocked. We didn't keep our schools closed. So I'm fortunate for that. But other people were in places like California, Minnesota, Michigan. Maybe you were in one of those draconian states that kept the lockdowns extremely long. They were extremely fierce. They even had people snitching on each other, calling hotlines. I know in California, they were paying people who were snitch out their neighbor who might have been out without wearing a mask, while Gavin Newsom was out with a group of 20, 30 people having dinner at one of his favorite restaurants, no mask, sitting right next to each other. You had major politicians from the left, from the Democrat side.
And Fauci was at the baseball game with no mask on, remember? I'm not talking to myself on this video. But yeah, Dr. Fauci was at the baseball game with no mask on, not 6 feet distant, but he told y'all to do it.
That were on television talking about COVID. And then they were coming down to Florida where we were opened up at and vacationing here. It was wild, but I just wanted to bring you this. I know we usually talk politics, but this is political because you got the FDA working with politicians to push poison on his people. You got Bill Gates who made the promise that he could depopulate the planet by 9 to 10% through, like you heard, vaccines, reproductive rights, and healthcare. Now, how could you possibly reduce the population with those 3 things that are supposed to be to help life unless you manipulate it? Now we know why Obamacare sucks. It's not supposed to work. Democrats never wanted it to. They don't want to extend people's lives. They want to shorten them. So tell me what you think. If you've hung out at this point and you watched it, what do you think? Put it in the comments. And first off, if you have watched to this point, let me thank you. I'd like to thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you for watching the video. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed already, subscribe. But most importantly, especially on the heels of this video, make sure that you stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top.
And make sure y'all do your own research. Don't let nobody research for you and tell you something that you ain't do your own research in, because then you'll be a hypocrite towards yourself. Damn it. That's what's wrong with a lot of people out here. They always go on hearsay and he say without doing their research. Damn it. That's why they gave us these phones and this internet for us to do research. We don't got to listen to everybody all the time telling us something that's not really true, and they didn't even do the goddamn research. Now come to find out, all these people with these degrees, so-called degrees, sold y'all out to take a fucking experiment, and ain't nobody held accountable. But yet they come up here in Pennsylvania and pass this bullshit ass crown hair law. The fuck that got to do with people losing their lives behind the experiment that was put on the people? Once again, by who? Devils. God damn it. When King Trump came up and said that shit was a hoax, that shit was a hoax. Who know any better than the person that's inside the house? Y'all niggas don't be inside the fucking White House. Y'all don't be around them white folks that be making decisions for your dumb ass. He came up and said it was a hoax. And y'all threw him under the bus. To this day, y'all still antagonizing that man, slandering that man, defamation on that man. Most of y'all that took that jab by listening to your peoples is fucked up. But the other half, that's what you get for not doing your own research.